In this video, we are going to discuss the time period of compound pendulum, or we can say physical pendulum. So physical pendulum or compound pendulum can be anything, any object which is hinged from any point and it is oscillating freely. So this is a arbitrary shaped object which is hinged from this point in such a way such that the hinge point is at a distance of d from the center of mass. So in this case, this pendulum would be in equilibrium, and if we displace this pendulum from this position, so let's suppose that this is the displaced position, then this will be the center of mass, and this center of mass will be having mg acting in the downward direction like that. This is mg. So if we have displaced this pendulum by an angle of theta, this is theta and this is mg, so the torque of mg about the hinge tau will be equal to mg into this distance is d sine theta. So this is mg d sine theta. Now for small displacement, theta is small, and if theta is small, sine theta is approximately equal to theta. So torque will be equal to mg d theta. Now this torque is equal to I alpha, where I is the moment of inertia of this pendulum, physical pendulum, about the hinge point. So we can write down alpha as omega square theta. So this is mg d theta is equal to I about hinge into omega square theta. Cancelling theta with theta, omega will be equal to mgd upon I, and the time period will be equal to 2 pi under root of I by mgd, where I is the MOI along hinge and d is the distance of COM from hinge. Okay, so this is the time period of the compound pendulum. Now let us take an example that there is a meter stick which is swinging about one of its end with frequency f0. Now if the bottom half of the stick was cut off, then its new frequency would be. So let us consider a meter stick. This is a meter stick, and meter stick has a length of 1 meter. So this is 1 meter, and this is the hinge point. Now we know that the time period of this meter stick, or we can say the frequency of this meter stick, would be 1 by t, and that would be equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root of mgd by I. So f0 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root of mg d. D is the distance between hinge and center of mass, which is 1 by 2. So this is 1 by 2, and the moment of inertia about this axis will be ml square by 3. So this is m by 3 because l is 1. So this is m by 3. So you can see that this is 1 upon 2 pi under root of 3g by 2. Now when the lower half part of this meter stick is being removed, then we have to find out the time period, in fact frequency. Then frequency f will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root of mass is m by 2 g, and the distance will be 1 by 4. So this is 1 by 4 divided by the moment of inertia about this will be m, which is m by 2, l, which is 1 by 2, ml square by 3. So this will be m by 8 into 3, which is 24. So this is m by 24. So cancelling this m with m, f will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root of 24g by 8. So this will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root of 3g. So you can see that f is equal to root 2 times of f naught. So the correct option will be option number B. Now let's move on the next case. In this case, there is a ring, semicircular ring of radius r and mass m. This ring is being hinged about this axis, which is passing through this ring, semicircular ring, from this corner and perpendicular to the plane. So the time period, we have to find out the time period of small SHM. So this is again a compound pendulum, and we know that for a compound pendulum the time period is 2 pi under root I by mgd. So t will be equal to 2 pi under root of I, where I is the moment of inertia of the ring about this point. So we all know that about this point the moment of inertia of the ring is m r square into 2. This is 2 mr square. This value would be same for a ring and for a semicircular ring. So for a ring this value is 2 mr square, and therefore for semicircular ring it would be same. So this is 2 mr square and divided by mg d, where d is the distance between the hinge and the center of mass. So this is COM, and this distance is, let's suppose, x, and this is y. So we can see that y square will be equal to under root of or x square plus r square, and we know that x for a semicircular ring is 2r by pi. So y square will be equal to 4r square by pi square plus r square. So y will be equal to r under root of 4 by pi square plus 1. So this will be under root of 4 by pi square plus 1, because this is the distance d. So cancelling m with m, and this is r. So t will be equal to 2 pi under root of this is 2r by g under root of 4 by pi square plus 1. So this is the time period of the small oscillations of this semicircular ring about this axis. Now let's take another example. In this example there is a disc, semicircular disc, and we know that its center of mass is lying at this point, which is 4r by 3 pi, and d is this distance, this is d, and this is r. So by applying that theorem, Pythagoras theorem, d square is equal to 16r square by 9 pi square plus r square. So d will be equal to r under root of 16 by 9 pi square plus 1. So the time period t will be equal to 2 pi under root of I by mgd. Now I, moment of inertia of the semicircular disc about this axis, would be the same as the moment of inertia of the complete disc about this axis, and that would be mr square by 2 plus mr square. So this is equal to 3 by 2 mr square. So for this disk, semicircular disk, the moment of inertia would be 3 by 2 mr square divided by mg where d is r under root of 16 by 9 pi square plus 1. Cancelling m with m and r with r. So this would be equal to 2 pi under root of 3r by 2g under root of 16 by 9 pi square plus 1. So this is the time period of small oscillation of this semicircular disk about this axis. Now for this square, the hinge point is this, and the center of mass of the square is this one, and this distance between the hinge and the center of mass is a by root 2. And we know that the moment of inertia of this square about this hinge will be I is equal to ma square by 6 is about this axis, plus this is m into a by root 2 whole square. So this I will be equal to ma square by 6 plus ma square by 2. So ma square is common, and this is ma square by 2 is common, and this is 1 by 3 plus 1. So this is 2 by 3 ma square. So the time period would be 2 pi under root of I by mgd, where I is 2 by 3 ma square divided by mg, and d will be a by root 2. So t will be equal to 2 pi under root of 2 root 2 by 2 root 2a by 3g. So this is the required time period of small SHM of this square sheet. Now we are going to find out the minimum time period of a compound pendulum. So let's suppose, first of all, let us write down the time period formula of the compound pendulum, and it is I upon mgd. Now this I is the moment of inertia about the hinge, and d is the distance between the hinge and the center of mass. So this time period is 2 pi under root of I. Now we know that about center of mass, the moment of inertia of the body is mk square, and about this hinge it would be mk square plus md square. So I will be equal to mk square plus d square divided by mgd. So t will be equal to 2 pi under root of k square plus d square upon gd. Now we need to find out the value of d so that we have the minimum time period of this compound pendulum. So we'll use the maximum minima technique, and therefore we are finding out dt by dd. So this is 2 pi by 2, and this is under root of k square plus d square by gd, and g is common, and 1 upon g is common, and the integration and the differentiation of this internal function would be d into differentiation of this would be 2d. I am differentiating it with the help of differentiation of u upon v technique, minus this is k square plus d square into the differentiation of d will be 1, and that is equal to 0. So you can see that k square plus d square is equal to 2d square, and k will be equal to plus minus d, which means that to get the minimum time period out of this compound pendulum, we must hinge this body about a point which is at a distance of k from the center of mass, and therefore the minimum time period will be equal to 2 pi under root of, this is k square plus d square, and d is also equal to k, so this is k square by g d, where d is k. So this will be 2 pi under root of 2k by g, where k is the radius of gyration of the body. So this is the value of minimum time period. For example, let us consider that there is a rod, and we need to find out the point in the rod where we should hinge the rod so that rod has a minimum time period, and we also need to find out the minimum time period of this rod. So this is the center of mass of the rod, and we know that the radius of gyration of the rod k is L upon 2 root 3, because the moment of inertia of the rod about center of mass is ml square by 12, and if we equate that moment of inertia to mk square, then k will be L by under root 12, and L by under root 12 will be L by 2 root 3. So we need to hinge this rod at a distance of L by 2 root 3 to extract the minimum time period of this rod, and this minimum time period will be equal to 2 pi under root of 2k by g. You can see the formula. So this minimum time period of this rod will be equal to 2 pi under root of 2 into L by 2 root 3 g. So this minimum time period will be equal to 2 pi under root of L by root 3g. So this is the minimum time period of oscillation of this rod. So this is very important concept that you should notice, that to extract the minimum time period of a compound pendulum, we must hinge that pendulum at a distance of radius of gyration k from the center of mass. So this was very important concept. And another example we can take, that there is a disc. This is a disc, and we know that for disc the radius of gyration k is r by root 2. So we must hinge this disc at a distance of r by root 2, either on the upper side, either on the lower side, to get the minimum time period of this disc. Now let's move further on the different concept of this compound pendulum. In this concept, it is very important to note that there are 4 different points of suspension in a rigid body, about which if we hinge the body, then the time period of oscillation of that rigid body will remain the same. Let us prove this thing. First of all, let us write down the time period of a compound rigid body or a compound pendulum. So it is k square plus d square by m, in fact, by gd. So t will be equal to 2 pi under root of 1 by g, and this is k square by d plus d. So you should notice these two terms. This is a and this is b, let's suppose. So if we replace a and b, then also the time period would remain the same. So if we write down d instead of k square upon d, then this is, and k square upon d instead of d, then this time period would remain the same. You can see. So what does I mean to say? I'll tell you with the example. So let us consider this rod. This is a rod, and this rod has a radius of gyration. We know that rod has a radius of gyration of L by 2 root 3. Now there are 4 different points about which we can hinge the rod to get the same time period. So if we find out the 2 points, then the first point is, let's suppose this is A and this is B. So let's suppose that this point is at a distance of k square upon d, and this point is at a distance of d. So we can see that for hinging this rod about this point, about B, so the time period would be equal to 2 pi under root of I by mgd. Now I about this point would be equal to m k square plus m k to the power 4 upon d square divided by m, g and d. Now d will be the distance of center of mass COM from hinge, which is B. So hinge is k square upon d. So you can see that time period will be, m is cancelled, so time period will be 2 pi under root of d plus this will be k square upon d. Divided by g. You can see that. So this is the time period when we have hinged this rod about point B, and if we hinge this rod about point A, then the time period would be 2 pi under root of m k square plus m d square, because when we will hinge the rod about point A, then the distance between the center of mass and the hinge would be d. So this is m k square by m d square divided by m g d. So cancelling this m with m, so this is 2 pi under root of k square by d plus d divided by g, which is the same as the time period of rod when it is hinged about point B. But why I am saying that there are 4 points about which the time period would be same? Because it is due to the fact that the 2 points would be at a same distance below the center of mass. So the first point would be, this is point number 1, this is point number 2, this is point number 3, which is at a distance of d, and this is point number 4, which is at a distance of k square by d. So there are 4 points about which, if we will hinge the rigid body, then its time period would remain the same. You can see that if this is the center of mass, then the 4 points will be 1, which is at a distance of d, and the other point is the complementary point of 1, which is just on the other side of the center of mass at the same distance d. The third point would be the point 2, which is at a distance of k square upon d from the center of mass, and its complementary point would be at this point, which is at a distance of k square by d on the other side of the center of mass. So you can see that there are 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, about which if you will hinge the rigid body, then its time period of a small SHM would remain same. So if we plot the graph of the time period with the distance x from from any end of the rod, then you can see that this is the graph, and this line cuts the graph at 4 points. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So there are 4 points about which, if we hinge this object, then the time period would remain the same. Let's suppose this is t0. So this is very important factor. Now we know that the minimum time period is in the case when the distance of hinge from the center of mass is equal to k. So this point is the center of mass of the rod or this object, and at the distance of k from C on the either side the time period would be minimum, and this minimum time period we all know is equal to 2 pi under root of 2k by g. And about center of mass, if we hinge this rod, then there would be no torque. You can see by the example that if this rod is hinged about its center of mass, this is COM, then there is no torque which will, if we'll displace this rod in this position, then mg would be acting about the hinge, and therefore there is no torque of mg which would restore the rod into its original position. Therefore rod will be in neutral equilibrium, and we all know that for simple harmonic motion the body always oscillates about the stable equilibrium position and not about the neutral equilibrium. So the time period of oscillation would be infinity theoretically, because that body is not oscillating, and if any body is not oscillating, then it would take infinite amount of time to complete one revolution. So theoretically that time period should be infinity when we have hinged the center of mass itself, and in practical situations we can say that there would be no SHM or no oscillation of that system. So this is the complete graph which is representing the time period with x, where x is the distance of hinge from any one end of the system. And this complete video was all about the compound pendulums. Hope you got to know many new things. Thank you.